Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
$14.90 WGCH. This is Carrie Lutz, listening to the Financial Survival Network. It is Leap Day in this leap year of 2012, and right now it's noontime, and all hell is breaking loose in the metals market, and people are panicking, which is why you need to listen to the international forecaster, Bob Chapman, who will set your head straight. Right, Bob?
You got it. Well, first of all, I didn't think they'd do such a thing today because it is so patently stupid. I mean, you've got to be a high-grade moron to do what they're doing right now. And maybe they're doing it deliberately to show you, by beating their chest like gorillas do, that what they're after here is to scare the dickens out of you and make you get rid of everything that you've got in gold and silver. I mean, they don't take in consideration less than 1% of Americans own gold and silver coins, bullion, and shares. But be as it may, they obviously want to make a point. And you know something? They're dumb enough to bring it down in one day. I was a trader for 25 years, of the 30 years almost that I was in the business. I know how this works. If you're going to have a correction, you want to have it in a day or two, and it's over. The pain is gone. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they're doing, which is good for us. Yeah. Bad for them. And they think they're proving a point. It just shows you what they don't know about markets. Now, what do we got gold off here?
$63, I think we're down.
Is that 63 and $1.59 on silver?
Is it $1.59? It was down as low as 230 something. I'm showing on mine. Mine's a little slower than yours, but as of 11:40, it was down $2.21 to 34.72. But when they saw silver was going to take off and gain another dollar or two today, they had to do this. I think this is a full-scale panic.
Well, I think it's great. You know why? They're shorting.
Yeah.
They don't have the physical to sell into the market.
There's no way.
So and they had a low short position. The six big traders, which, you know what they've done, Morgan and HSBC pedaled off parts of their positions to the other four players, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Deutsche Bank, and I forget who the other one is. And what they did, in order to get around the SEC rule, the CFTC rules that are coming shortly, in order to get around that, they just transferred the positions over to others. Now, from one point of view, it's legal. From another point of view, it's a conspiracy. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know which way you want to handle it, but that's what they're doing. And they're only short 20,000 contracts. So this is all naked shorting that's going in the market right now from my point of view.
Well,
and that doesn't mean I'm right, but I think that's what they're doing.
Did you catch last week where they were rating silver and they sold 107 million ounces into the market in about 15 minutes? And then the company that compiles the data said, sorry, that isn't right. We had a problem with our data provider. Who's their data provider? You can only imagine. But the point is that Jeff Christensen at the Silver Summit this year in Spokane said, silver's not leveraged 100 to 1 on the COMEX. It's actually leveraged during the day 400 to 1, but when they close the books at night, it's only 100 to 1. Right now, it could be leveraged 1,000 to 1, and by the end of the day, they'll have closed them out, and you'll never know those contracts existed, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
so anyway, to take your point up, that's a very good point, because this is not the first time this happened. The first time in this short period of time, they were unsuccessful. This time they got it down. I mean, some of the stocks are off today, but as a reflection, but not off that much. Pretium what is it, up 28 cents or something like that?
Yeah, I think
that shows you what they think of it.
Yeah,
and Alex is unchanged at 83.
Yep.
I mean, most of these stocks are off a half a point. I mean, it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the stocks, normally you can watch those stocks and know that a raid's coming because the day before the metal will go way up, the stocks will be moribund. And then you know the next day the raid's coming. And then we had Bernanke speaking. So, of course, whenever Bernanke says anything about the economy, they raid gold. They're making the dollar go up today. It's so transparent. And yet people, emotions, right? There's only two emotions on Wall Street, fear and greed. Right now they're kicking in the fear, hoping that people do things that are going to hurt themselves in the long run and really destroy their chances of getting through this depression with their shirt on. It's
well, it's all part of what they control, which is virtually everything. And were we to be able to get Ron Paul elected, and it doesn't look like on the Republican ticket he can do that. But were we able to get him elected, we could stop this President's Working Group in financial markets and the Fed. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how powerful this is. And I'll tell you right now, if that doesn't happen, then you can plan for revolution in America because it's going to come.
Sure. Yeah, well, it's
not wild people running through the streets. I think there's going to be a military coup in the United States. Mm-hmm. And they're terrified in Washington and New York City that that's going to happen. I mean, these guys from like Blankfein, they run around with 4 bodyguards and dogs.
Dogs, yeah.
I mean, what a way to have to live in and about New York City. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, nuts. Well, I have to say though, a dog in your home is one of the best forms of protection out there if you're worried about civil unrest and everything else, because it's the best alarm system known to man, and it's also man's best friend. You want a friend in Washington, you have to get a dog, right?
Well, there's plenty of them there.
Yeah, you got me there,
Nancy
Bob. You got
Pelosi,
me.
where are you now that we need you?
You got me, Bob. You got me there. But yeah, so it's really just a matter of stay the course, filter out the noise, and just watch the real economy continue to really unwind and diminish, because the real economy is contracting all over the world. Because if you took into account the real rate of inflation and applied that to the so-called growth rates in all the world's economies, we're losing 5 to 10% a year, and we're talking depression there. There's not even a question, right?
Yeah, and I thought that the banks in the third week of December that in Europe received $655 billion or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And the new figures are out this morning, and I haven't read them yet. I got them right in front of me here. I've been so darn busy. But the point is this. In December, now there's 800 banks involved now. Mm-hmm. 800.
Really?
That are broke.
God.
Now,
bankrupt, as the term goes, where that is a
right.
banking term.
We're looking at December. In December, those banks increased their lending to business by 0.7%. Mm-hmm. In January, it was 0.3%, I think.
Yeah.
They're not increasing. Mm-hmm. If those banks don't increase their loans, the economy can't percolate. Yeah. And it's going to go down. And the same thing is happening in America. Mm-hmm. And they have just decided that they are not going to support the economies, probably deliberately, and just save all the lending and banking institutions. That's all they're interested in.
Mm-hmm. It sure seems that way, because they're sure not doing anything to help you, the average guy in the street, Joe Sixpack, to survive and to protect himself, to protect his family, and to hold on to the little bit of wealth that you might still have after what's happened to this economy. It's just terrible.
I think it's tragic because, the blue-collar worker can't be expected to know what you and I know about international markets, the economy, fiscal spending. They vote for their representatives. They don't know that they're all paid off. They probably figure they are. But they shrug their shoulders, and they're in a heck of a position. I came from a working man family. My father was a truck driver and a freight handler and was one of Jimmy Hoffa's original people who joined Local 25 in Boston when Jimmy first formed it. So I came from the other side of the tracks. And so I know what it's like. And these people are hurting. They're hurting badly, and they don't deserve it. Well, these people run around with 4 guards and dogs and are making, $500 million a year, $10 million or whatever it is. And there's no sense in what's going on.
Yeah, none whatsoever. And, the real unfortunate thing is that Joe Sixpack, that you, the average person, doesn't really understand why this collapse is occurring and believes that it's free markets that have caused it, capitalism, and we haven't had either one of them we're going on 80 years since the New Deal now, Bob, and 100 years since the Federal Reserve was founded. And that's where they have to be looking. Unfortunately, they don't have the knowledge. Hopefully, we're giving them a little.
Well, that's what this is all about. I mean, what madman 77 years old would be doing what I'm doing? But, I've got the knowledge, and I hate watching people get screwed. I don't care who they are. I mean, everybody in life deserves an equal chance, and they don't stand a chance. They don't have to be in the markets. I mean, they've got a retirement plan or a 401k or an IRA. They're getting screwed. They're not getting any raises. The inflation's higher than what government says it is. The litany goes on and on. And these are the people who are going to say, no, that's it. I've had enough. The game's over. And the military's going to say the same thing, and they're going to take over the government. I tell everybody out there, you want to help your government, when the military goes after the government, tell them you want to join and help them.
Yeah, well, and do you know who the candidate who's receiving the largest amount of military contributions is? Presidential candidate? Did you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah, Ron Paul. Yeah, why is that?
Well, because they know he's got his head on straight. They've been there, done that. They've been shot at. All of you people listening have never been shot at. Well, go and try it sometime. It sucks. Not knowing whether you're going to get your head blown off at the next round.
That's why we're so reliant upon the government, and why we give up our freedoms, because we're afraid of that scenario. And in effect, when you give up your freedoms, you wind up bringing on the very scenario that you fear. And that's what's happening in our country.
There's no safety in government. None.
They all default, right? Has there ever been a government in history that paid its debt down 100 cents on the dollar? I'd like to know what it is. They all default.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. What's that?
Oh, I'm kidding you.
I think you said some Babylonian times. Is that, that when it happened? Yeah, right.
Nobody in America can say that fast.
Yeah,
Nebuchadnezzar.
I know that there's a sommelier at a restaurant in Chappaqua, New York, who can say it that fast, but he's the only one. Right? Because it's one of those large bottles of wine as well. All right, Bob. So tell us, international forecaster, how can you subscribe? You can. And it's all about business, finance, economic, social, political issues all over the world. Published Wednesday and Saturday by email. Runs around 35 or 40 pages normally. Have a hard copy that goes out to people who are not on the internet, and everything that you need to know each week is in that publication. You can get a free introductory copy by going to theinternationalforecaster.com. The International, FORECASTER.com. You can also go to www.int
FORECASTER.com, intforecaster.com. For those of you who want to ask questions, and we answer everybody, or you would like to get a copy of either of the publications, or you would like to get a copy of our latest report on gold and silver shares, all you have to do is email us, and that address is Bob, B-O-B, at intforecaster.com, Bob at intforecaster.com. And for those of you who want to or have to, call toll-free. That phone number is 877-479-8178, 877-479-8178. You can get free copies there. And for those of you who want to become subscribers, that's a place to go to, because you can get a free 1-year subscription there. They have an offering that they're making, and the deal, I think, is terrific, and you should take advantage of it if you're going to be a subscriber.
And I just want to chime in there, Bob. I've been a subscriber now for a number of years. What I've gotten from the Forecaster has more than paid for the subscription for the rest of my life. And that's assuming I live to 110 like you're going to.
I hope so. And still function properly.
Yeah, well, that.
Gold's only down 57, 56 right now.
Yeah. And
so it's rallying. Well, Bernanke was speaking. Oh, here it comes again. They just did it again. They get it down 59.50 on Bloomberg. Mm-hmm. Silver futures down 215 at 35.06. But they keep on running this thing over and over and over on Bloomberg to scare you out.
Yeah.
And of course, I have the volume off, so I can't tell you that they're telling you that gold is dead and all this crap.
Barbarous
I imagine
relic.
CNBC is worse.
It's a barbarous relic, right? And it has no part in the modern economy, right?
William McChesney Martin. A criminal if there ever was one.
All right, Bob. Hey, we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Have a profitable beginning of March ahead. We'll talk back with you then.
Well, I thank you very much. I thank you all for listening, and I'm here to save your bacon if I can do it.
All right, and that's what we wanted to hear. You be well, Bob.
Bye-bye.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.